What does the parable of the wheat and the tares mean? This is one of the few parables where Jesus interpreted the metaphors that he used. The parable is about the process of the development of the true church after Jesus and the apostles died. He warned us we would have to stay faithful in an environment of religious corruption and hypocrisy until a future separation work would bring to light truth and error.
So Jesus gives his disciples the parable in Matthew, telling them the kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in the field. But while his men was sleeping, the enemy came in and planted tares. This is a type of plant that resembles wheat. And both types of plants are allowed to grow together until the time of harvest.
In Matthew 13:37-43, Jesus plainly explains that he is the sower who planted his faithful followers the good seed in the field of the world.
Soon after Jesus plants the wheat, meaning he sends his followers into the world, growing up around them springs up this false wheat. Now Jesus warned us this would happen so that we could be on guard.
These tares in verse 38 represent false Christianity and are the product of errors in parts of the gospel message spread after the apostles' death. These tares oppose Jesus' true message. The enemy, meaning Satan, deliberately planted seeds of false doctrine by using prideful people throughout various periods of history. We're now living in the end times of the harvest that Jesus mentioned, and we can now see preparations being made for the full establishment of God's kingdom.
So what's the lesson for all of us in this? Well, Jesus predicted Christianity would be corrupted, and because his true followers were forewarned, they could prepare against it. So 1 John 4:1 says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." So Jesus sowed the good seed of the gospel, yet there's corruption within the field because of Satan. But we are promised the true church will survive Satan's corruptive efforts.
Tares being gathered and burned metaphorically refers to the destruction of the systems in Christianity that preach false truths and seek to benefit themselves instead of Christ. At that time in the future, God will remove the false systems of worship and every untrue doctrine will be exposed. This means that finally everyone will have the opportunity to receive God's pure truth.
So the harvesting work in this parable symbolizes some of Jesus' work needed to prepare for God's kingdom on earth. And eventually, as the book of Haggai tells us, the desire of all nations will come. And the prayer everyone knows, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth just as it is done in heaven," will soon be a reality. Then all mankind will learn truth and righteousness, and they will eventually know the Lord and see God's glory. Gladness and joy will overtake them.
The message of truth was planted specifically for the righteous who are seeking God and his truth now and are willing to follow in Jesus' sacrificial footsteps. Those who are faithful will work with Christ in the full establishment of the kingdom to resurrect and bless all who have ever lived. Are you interested in an even more detailed study on this topic? Listen to our full podcast to learn more. Do you have a question of your own you'd like us to answer? Visit ChristianQuestions.com to submit a question of your own. Make sure to click the blue microphone to subscribe to get updates on new videos. Think about the Bible like you never have before.